And welcome back. I introduced you to my wonderful co-host, Matt Graham, earlier in the show. But I also want to take a few minutes now to learn about his podcast called Exploring the Ozarks. So, Matt, what do we need to know about your podcast?
Well, we talked earlier about, when I moved away from the Ozarks, how much I missed it whenever I left. That, ever since then, I've been trying to find a way to show people what we have in the Ozarks, because growing up, it almost feels like pride has almost been lost, because we have a lot of people that have moved here and they love the Ozarks, but it's almost like...
We take it for granted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You take it for granted when you grow up here and you don't realize you've got, some of the best waterways in the world here or close to here within 2 hours. You've got mountains everywhere. You've got all sorts of stuff like Elephant Rocks or Buffalo River or, the Current River.
And I hate to say this, but a lot of those things you're mentioning, like I've heard of my whole life. I haven't necessarily bbeen to all of them.
You're exactly why we started this, actually.
Yeah, the underachiever local.
Right,
Yeah,
and as I'm up in St. Louis, it was very urban, right? So I'm just kind of like, I was wanting to just get back to the Ozarks because I wanted to get outside again. And there's a lot of opportunity in St. Louis, but not when you're playing baseball in college. So it was just kind of on my mind the last 20 years or so.
It took you a little while.
It took me a while, but it took me a while just to be able to focus on what do I want to put out to people, to show them how they can go out and actually explore. So.
Well, it means that it is deeply rooted, that you love it that much, that you're willing to spend this time and money, energy to do that and to let other people know what's around. So what do you define as the Ozarks then? What kind of topics?
So this is a big topic for me and my co-host and producer, David Carr. We sat down and that was the first thing we asked each other. What is the Ozarks? Is it a set of lines on a map? Or is it all in our hearts? Or is it all in our mind? Is it a way of life with all the history that we have here?
Those are all really good questions.
It goes all the way back to the Native Americans and things like that I talk a lot about on my podcast, because I do find Native American artifacts on my property.
Yes, we have as well.
Yeah, see? And it's everywhere, but unless you go try to explore, you would never know these things, and it kind of attaches you to the area, I guess. So it's kind of my way of saying, we have this great place, why don't we celebrate it? And so I've taken him out on the Finley River. He's never been on a river before.
So are you doing your podcast on the river?
No, not all of them.
Okay, but some of it you do?
Some of it we do. We have segments called Matt's Moments where we couldn't come up with another name, so we just called it Matt's Moments.
Oh, that's perfect. I love it.
And we just go out and I take them on the river. I show them some cool places along the river so people maybe want to go out to go on the James River, because really, stuff like that's gotten a bad rap in this area for the last 20 years, too, with cleanliness and things like that.
Right.
I was a part of the James River Water Basin Coalition a few times where we went out and did river cleanups, and it really did a good thing for the area. Now, when I go down the river, I don't see all that trash, and you don't really feel bad about being on the water. So I decided I've got to go show everybody else, and he was pretty astounded by the fact that I knew where there was this little secret waterfall that no one knows about.
I want to know about the secret waterfall.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is meant for you. So you're going to be on my show, too, at some point. But that is really the joy of it, is showing people what's available out there, and maybe they're going to go out there and do it themselves, because nature to me has always been my way of getting out of my own head or getting away from work for a little bit. Had some bad experiences in my life with the loss of a son and things like that. So my way of getting into some type of church or whatnot is to go out in nature and just be for a little while. And I've realized what it did for my mental status, so I want other people to know about that too. So that's also a part of the show.
Okay, so you talk history, you talk locations and different treasures that we have. What about people? Do you have guests come on your podcast?
Yes. So we've had 30 episodes come out since January 7th is when we first started taping those. We tape them live. We rarely edit them. We only do that for our sponsors to put their names in and all that. But aesthetically, it's still live. But we've had 30 guests, all the way from Chamber of Commerce people to Greene County commissioners to guys that book music here in town. They're music promoters, to Amanda Haynes is one of our good people we had on the show, and she's from Nixa, and she floated on the Missouri River to the Mississippi River down to the Gulf of Mexico by herself with her dog in her canoe.
Oh my goodness.
And then she tells me after the show that she also received the Bronze Star for being in Iraq War as well.
Wow, so lots of treasures just in the people that are around here. So how often do you do podcast episodes?
Usually once a week. We took a break for the summertime and then part of the fall because, the whole name of it being Exploring the Ozarks. I wanted to go out and explore Summertime's been a little warm, so I kind of put that on the back burner for a minute. But I will be going out and exploring more options for people so we can put together some more of those Matt's Moments. But I've already got some planned for October to do some interviews. Hopefully, you're going to be one of those.
Yeah, so this would be a really good chance if anybody's new here, or if you've been here a long time and you want to learn more about the place we live. You also have a video portion of this as well, so we can find it where are all the places?
So if you want to listen to the podcast, it's on every podcast forum, podcast on Spotify,
Apple,
YouTube, anywhere. Video you'll find on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all those types of places.
Okay.
We'd love your support, and if you want to sponsor the show, we'd love that as well.
Yeah, you can probably reach out to you. You go to your website to find a lot more information and probably
usually
contact
the Facebook is our best way to get to us at this point.
Okay, this is amazing. I love what you're doing, and thank you, because it just kind of lifts up our whole community. You know, something to celebrate. I love it.
That's the goal.